Statistics are everything on the internet, even when it comes to being a massive asshole, because you have to have a bunch of followers so that you're validated facing others. Follow for follow is a practice that is ridiculously useless, as well as stupidly vain and misleading. How's everybody doing? I am Demi Griner here for the Griner's Verdict podcast for the episode 2 of the season 2. So as I just said, follow for follow is a thing on the internet, unfortunately. And it seems to be something that people do because they need validation. They need to be accepted by others that are bigger than them, the celebrities with millions of followers. But what exactly does that mean? See, the follow for follow really bothers me, and I'm gonna tell you why. You know, on Instagram, when you post a picture and you make some tags so that the picture is promoted throughout Instagram. And I don't even know if these are legitimate people or these are actual bots reading the hashtags and then following you or liking the picture just for attention. And why this bothers me is because it's meaningless. Those likes are nothing. Those follows are nothing. They are not your followers. The only reason they followed you is because they want followers themselves. And this is ridiculous because at the end of the day, who is a legitimate follower nowadays? How are you going to grow from scratch if every single fucking follower you get just wants a follower from you? How are you supposed to make something grow when everybody just looks for followers? Because see, the thing is, when you have a follower just because they want to be followed back, they don't give a shit about your content. They don't give a shit about what you're making. They don't give a shit about you. All they care about is that one number, that one plus on their followers. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. They don't care if you could be saving dogs, if you could be making people incredibly happy, if you could be saving lives. All they care about is that now they possibly have one more person following. And the reason this is ridiculous to me, it's simply because it's so vain and so stupid. Why don't you actually legitimately check the podcast? Why don't you actually legitimately check my band? Why don't you actually legitimately check my pictures? Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. If you don't like it, get fuck off. But if you like it, follow and please stay. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else to it. I hate it. I legitimately hate it how people became this vain and it's all about the followers. Nothing else in life matters anymore. It's just followers. Statistics on the internet. I have thousands of followers, so I'm better than you. The truth of the matter is, no, you're not. You're even worse because of it. If you do this, if you do the follow for follow bullshit, you are way worse than I am. As a matter of fact, the difference between you and I is that I'm growing legitimately. I am giving importance to my followers legitimately. You're not. All you care about is having numbers, and that's stupid because numbers are not everything. If you have a bunch of followers, but it's just a bunch of people that legitimately don't care about your content whatsoever, then what the fuck is the point? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna promote your shit because you know what? What they want is exactly what you want, to get promoted and to get numbers. That's all. They don't give a shit about you or what you do. All they care about is legitimately the same thing as you want, to grow, and that's it. And the way the world is nowadays, nobody's gonna help each other. Everybody's just gonna stomp on each other. I'm obviously exaggerating. There's good people out there still, but the majority of people are just gonna stomp on each other because they want the success, because people feel like they need to sort of go against each other. They need to find the flaws of others because that makes them feel better about themselves, because at the end of the day, they're probably trash. If this is something that you do, if this is a regular practice of yours, I'm sorry, buddy, but yes, you're probably trash. If you look for flaws in everybody else, that's because you are the most flawed out of all of them. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's just the reality of things. Because somebody who knows that they are good, somebody who realizes that their product, that their content, whatever it is that they're making, art, music, whatever, when they know they're good, they're not gonna look for the flaws of others. They're gonna look for inspiration in others. They're gonna look for something to make themselves better. They're gonna listen to another song and they're gonna be like, that's actually very interesting. I could actually do something like that, but make it my own way. That's what a person who listens to others and looks at others' content and creations and stuff like that, That's what a person who knows they are good enough to be doing what they are doing does, basically. When you are insecure about yourself, about your work, you are always looking for flaws on others. I'm not a successful person. I know I'm not, I don't have thousands of downloads on my podcast. I don't have thousands of people listening to podcasts even. I don't. I know that. But I also know that I have quality. I also know that I have an interesting personality that is interesting enough to be doing this and possibly get people at some point. And how do I know this? Because I trust in myself. Because when I listen to my podcasts after I've done them, I like to listen to them. That's the reason why I post them. That's why you should do your things as well. When you are listening to your stuff, if you like it, by all means, post it. I mean, if you like it, there's got to be somebody out there who's gonna like it as well, right? That's how we went about our things when I was in a band. If we like the music we're making, we're gonna be making that music for the public. If we don't like the music that we're making, possibly there would be people that would like it. But if we don't like it, then what's the point in posting it? Or then what's the point in composing and working on those songs? If we don't like it, we're not gonna put it anywhere other than just the trash can and keep on doing something new until we like it, or keep on working on it until we like it. That is the way I go about life. So even though you might say, well, you're not really successful, dude, you don't have listeners, you barely have any listeners anyways, so what is your deal with at least I know this and know that? Well, yes, I trust in myself. I have confidence in my work. It doesn't matter if people don't listen to it. Just because people don't listen to it, it really doesn't mean that it's not good. I mean, look at the amount of stuff that is out there nowadays, Look at the amount of stuff that is out there in this world nowadays. Look at the stuff that is successful nowadays. It's a lot of trashy stuff. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. But people rather live in a bubble, in a sugar-coated bubble, than live in reality. That is just the way we are about life nowadays, because life is a piece of shit. Life is full of mistakes. Life is full of stuff we hate. Life is full of all of this shit. We don't want to deal with this. We want to sugarcoat it with podcasts that talk about pretty things, with podcasts that don't make any mentions about this. That's how we want to go about life. People don't want to deal with reality. That's why there's religion. That's why religion is such a big thing, or it used to be such a big thing. It's falling apart, as a matter of fact, because of pedophilia and all that shit, but you get the point, right? You get the point. That's why people use these things to run away from the reality that is life, from the harshness that is life. And then those who are insecure will look for flaws on others. Those who are secure about their work, those who know that they have capacity and quality and capability of doing good things, those won't look for flaws. Those will look for inspiration. Those will look for something to make them grow about themselves. And usually you find this in others. Everybody inspires each other. That's just the natural way of life. That's just the way life goes. But do you know who truly really pisses me off? It's not even the people that follow and stay. It's the motherfuckers that follow and then you follow them because you feel like you should follow them because it's a nice thing to do, and they unfollow you. That is just the stupidest, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And you might ask yourself, why am I making such a big deal out of this? Because it's stupid. Because it messes up with your emotions. It messes up with your growth. It messes up with, it's exciting to look at your social media and you see growth. It's really exciting. It's exciting when I post a picture. Let's say I'm gonna post a picture on Instagram for this episode, right? On my personal Instagram. And I post a picture and I put a bunch of, hashtags saying podcast, podcaster, podcasters of Instagram, blah, 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 blah. And I put a bunch of these, right? And I start getting a bunch of likes and I start getting a bunch of followers. And you start getting excited. You start looking at the profiles, you start looking at, who's this? This person seems interesting, because you want to know them, because they had interest in you, so you want to know them. You want to have interest in them just as much. So you go in there and you look for them. It doesn't mean you're gonna follow them. I mean, if you don't know their content and if you don't necessarily really like their content, I mean, there's no point in following, right? That's just the way I go about life. I mean, if I see your content and I don't necessarily like your content, shit, I'm not gonna follow you because there's no point. If your whole profile is meant for your content in promoting your work and I'm not interested in your work, I'm not gonna follow. I'm not follow you just because you're a musician and you followed me. If I don't like your music, there's no point in me following you. I'm sorry, just the way I feel about it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the right way to feel about it. I feel like a lot of people get followed. I feel like a lot of people get, all of this stuff, and it's not truthful. It's not real. It's nothing new that the internet is full of liars. It's full of people who don't really mean shit. You know why? Because it's that easy. It is that easy to do it. It is that easy to be a lying piece of shit on the internet. That's why pedophiles are all over the internet. That's why the deep web is rigged with child pornography and shit like that. It's because it's so easy to lie, It's that easy. You go on Facebook, you see a woman and you think she's hot and you go in there, you start talking to her. You don't give a shit about her. You don't give a shit about her interests. You don't give a shit about anything that she stands for. But you know what you're gonna do because you're interested in the way she looks? You're gonna lie. You're gonna like, oh my god, I think I'm falling for you. I think you're so interesting. Everything about you makes me tingle. Everything about you makes me happy. Bullshit. You don't give a fuck about what she does. You don't give a fuck about what she stands for. But you want to get down her pants. You want to get in there. You want to have sex with her. So you're gonna say those things. You're gonna lie right into her face via, the internet and not really face. You are gonna lie nonetheless. You are gonna be that fucking asshole. You're gonna be that idiot that does that shit to people. And you, my friend, are a piece of literal shit. You know those shits you find on the middle of the ground when you're passing by that a dog just laid there? Yeah, you are one of those. Because that's not cool. You see, the ease that the internet gives us is that there's no emotions to deal with. Well, now with the emojis and whatnot, there kind of is, but it's not the same thing. Because a lot of people also don't want to show their emotions. A lot of people want to hide their emotions. That's why you have a bunch of dudes who don't say they're sensitive. That's why you have a bunch of people that don't say that what they really are. Because it's kind of like sometimes it's just a little bit, I don't know, it makes you feel weak sometimes. So that's why we don't say what really goes in our minds. That's why we sugarcoat everything. We try to make it a little better for others to accept that or something, That's why we do these things. And that's why the follow for follow bullshit really fucking bothers me. I hate it. I legitimately hate it because I feel like it's a practice that shouldn't be a real thing. Back when I started YouTube in 2013, again, it never led to anywhere because I never got support, I never got anything. When you see all of these successful YouTubers, you usually see them, but at some point I started doing collaborations with somebody. At some point, somebody started helping me out and stuff. I never really had any of that. And let's face it, I was just really bad at managing stuff. So, because the first time I started my channel and the reason why I put it on standby was specifically because of the fact that I just had no more space to make more videos. And that's really stupid. Yeah, you're right. If you're saying, wow, this guy is a real dumbass, you're right. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I was a fuck, but such is life. Such is life. That's why I said I was bad at managing. It's true. But the point is, I saw multiple channels, and back then I have never seen any of those things. Maybe because the channel is old or some shit, but I haven't seen, maybe because I didn't look, but I haven't seen anything like I saw back then. It was all over the place. Bots and whatnot that followed channels automatically for you, okay? They legitimately automatically followed channels for you so that you would have not follow, but it's subscribe, so that you would have the subscribe for subscribe or sub for sub. And that's so stupid. You know why? There was this guy, this channel that had like 30,000 subscribers or something like that, right? It had 30,000 subscribers. You know how many views he was getting in these videos? Hundreds. With thousands of subscribers, you should have at least a minimum of a few thousands of views. You know what I mean? But he had hundreds. Sometimes he would, stagnate in like 75, 85. That's ridiculously low. If you have 30,000 subscribers, how is it possible that but you are getting hundreds of views, and sometimes not even hundreds, dozens of views. How is that possible? Exact, the sub for sub thing. And that's why these people do these follow for follow bullshit, but that's really my point. It's meaningless, and that's why I hate this shit. It's because it's literally meaningless. If I follow you so that you follow me, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't give a fuck about what you do. I don't give a fuck about your content. The whole reason why I'm following you is so that you follow me, so that I have more numbers to show whenever somebody drops by my channel, right? But here's what I think about that shit. I'm the type of person, if I go to a channel and the channel has a bunch of numbers, like let's say we're watching Twitch, and I go to a channel that has 5 viewers, but they have thousands of followers on Twitch, and I'm like, okay, so you have thousands of followers on Twitch, but you have 5 viewers. Why? Why is that? You know? And you go to an Instagram page, you go to a podcast, right? You go to an Instagram podcast that just followed you, and they have thousands of followers on Instagram, and you go and check it out, and you're like, these guys have nothing. These guys are not successful at all. I mean, they keep on doing it, they keep on making posts, they keep on posting shit, they keep on doing promotions and whatnot, but they have nothing. Their episodes are completely empty. They're like the Wild West with the tumbleweed going through. So what exactly is your, why do you want so many followers if you don't have anything to show them? Because they don't give a fuck, because your followers are not real, because your followers are just following you because you are following them, or because somebody followed you, or because you follow somebody and because they felt like, oh, this person followed me, so I'm gonna follow them back. And then you take your follow because you're a literal piece of shit. As I mentioned before, you're like a dog shit laying on the ground, and you take the follow away from them because you want to have more followers, because I am the follower master.
I have thousands of followers and you don't, you piece of shit. This is my kingdom. I have thousands of subscribers and this person doesn't. So I am 10 times better.
You see what I mean? You see my point here? You see what I'm trying to say? It's absolutely ridiculous. That's what these fuckers sound to me. They sound like fucking goblins or some shit, you know, like it's ridiculous. Anyways, guys, my point is, I think I made it across plenty of times, but my point is, don't follow for follow. If you want to follow me, make sure that it's a legitimate follow. Make sure that you are following me because you want to follow me. Don't expect a follow back. If you want me to check your shit, send me a message, send me a comment, send me something saying, hey, I also make content. Would you mind checking it out? And if possible, if you like the content that I'm making, give me a follow as well. Then I will legitimately check your shit and I'll go, oh wow, that's very nice. I like your stuff. I'm gonna follow you because I want to legitimately listen to your stuff. I want to legitimately consume your stuff prior to this conversation. And that's how it goes. And that is how the world should fucking be. Not this follow for follow bullshit, and then you take the follow because fuck you and blah 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 and all that shit. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. This has been the episode 2 of the season 2 of this Grinder's Verdict podcast. Just a few things. Don't forget, go check the website grindersverdict.com. All right, give it some freaking traffic. So I'm not gonna make any money out of that, so you feel free to do it. Also, check me out on Twitter at Grinder's Verdict. Facebook, Grinder's Verdict. What else? Twitch is Grinder. I don't really stream there, but if you want to check it out anyways, it's fine. Patreon is patreon.com/Grinder's Verdict as well. There's a few specific episodes just for patrons there, and I'm gonna keep on doing it because I really have a lot of fun doing those, because I don't really have the constraints that I have here, because I feel like here I kind of have to make an episode that is for public. So there, I do whatever the fuck I want. If I'm gonna masturbate while recording an episode, I'm gonna do it. But if you want to listen to it, you have to be a patron. But it's not that bad because you get exclusive content for $1. That's right. But I'm also thinking about making better tiers and other tiers that are gonna be a little bit more expensive. But that's literally the only tier available right now. It's $1 and get access to all the things that I'm doing right now that are specific for Patreon, right? So if I'm gonna be making a video or something like that, if I'm gonna be, as I mentioned, masturbating on a and recording me masturbating and talking to myself, I'm gonna do it. I wouldn't really expect that in the future, but if you want me to do that, I'll fucking do that. All right, I will legitimately do that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, the season 2, episode 2 podcast of the Grinder's Verdict podcast. I have a hard time repeating words. I'm so bad at talking. Anyways, guys, thank you so much, and see you guys on the next one.